The go-home week to Bash at the Beach kicks off tonight, and so do the quarterfinals of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. We're going to kick it off tonight. Tiffany Stratton takes on Becky Lynch. Also tonight, Iyo Sky takes on Jordynne Grace. Becky Lynch out first here on Raw. She is determined to win this Queen of the Ring tournament and move on to SummerSlam and get a shot at Asuka and try to reclaim her WWE Women's Championship. Let's take a look at the current Queen of the Ring brackets. Quarterfinal matchups taking place tonight on Raw, as well as later this week on Nitro. And the semifinals of our two matches tonight will be later this week on SmackDown. In the King of the Ring tournament, in our main event, Big Bronson Reed takes on Oba Femi. And that is our only King of the Ring semifinal match here tonight. Gunther with a bye here in round two, thanks to the double countout that took place in round one between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. We have a little news on those two in regards to Bash at the Beach a little bit later tonight. But also tonight we will see in action Rey Mysterio. He will go one-on-one with Axiom, but right now it's Tiffy Time on Raw. Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton. Which of these two women will move on to the semifinals later this week on SmackDown, as Becky with the early advantage? Tiffany Stratton defeated Roxanne Perez in round one to advance here to the quarterfinals. Becky Lynch defeating Charlotte Flair in what may have been the fastest finish we've ever seen here in the open mic universe. Moonsault there from Becky. She goes for the cover, but Tiffy able to kick out at one. Stratton now trying to make her way to the corner, and Becky right there. Not giving Stratton an inch here. Now sends Tiffany into the corner, but Tiffany with an elbow as she fights her way out. And now Becky with an elbow of her own. Tiffany in some trouble here. Becky rolling Stratton over, and a knee to the face. And now Tiffany back in the driver's seat. These two kind of going back and forth. And double axe handle down to the back of the head of Becky Lynch. Tiffany up to the second rope, splash. Now Tiffany waiting for Becky to get back to her feet. Kick to the no. Block there from Becky as she tosses Stratton across the ring. And now Becky going up top. Leg drop off the top rope, misses as Tiffany Stratton moves out of the way. And now Tiffany tossing Lynch into the corner, but Becky fights her way out with an elbow. Tiffany down. Becky, what's she doing here? Becky with, looks like kind of a reverse figure four. And Tiffany trying to hold out here. She's trying to fight and hang in as long as she can. But she has no choice but to tap Becky Lynch. She's moving on to the semifinals, and she awaits her opponent. It's either going to be Jordynne Grace or Iyo Sky. And that'll take place later this week on SmackDown. Up next, already in the ring, Axiom. His opponent Despicable Rey Mysterio and his dirtbag son, Dirty Dom, accompanying him to the ring. This is kind of a rare opportunity here on the WWE side of the universe. You don't normally see a whole lot of cruiserweight action here on Raw or SmackDown, as the cruiserweight division over in WCW. And here we go. Rey, a former WCW cruiserweight champion. Also a former multiple-time WCW world champion. Axiom and Nathan Frazier still looking for their first gold here in the universe. Those two had kind of a rough go here recently. Heading into last month's Money in the Bank, they were dealing with big Bronson Reed, and actually met him in a handicap match back at Money in the Bank, a match that big Bronson Reed was victorious in. And now Axiom looking to bounce back here tonight. He'll look to do so against maybe one of the greatest luchadors, one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time in Rey Mysterio. It's just kind of a shame that Rey has kind of tarnished his legacy the way that he has over the last year. And the countdown begins. But hey, on a positive note for the family of the Mysterios, Rey, Dom together again. It was just recently Father's Day, so hey, these two spending some quality time together. We mentioned it earlier in the show that we may have some news regarding Braun Breaker, Jey Uso. Obviously, after their double countout in round 1 of the King of the Ring tournament. Last week on SmackDown, Braun Breaker attacking Jey Uso outside of the arena. And because of that, WWE management has made a match for Bash at the Beach. Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, in what's being called a beach brawl. It's a match that has no rules. Anything goes. Rey sending Axiom back into the ring. And now Rey in to join him. And we've seen this before. Axiom in the ropes. 619. Rey up and over the top rope. Hooks the leg. Nathan Frazier can't believe it. And Rey Mysterio, he's going to pick up the win here as he defeats Axiom this week on Raw. Next, we've got our second and final quarterfinal match on the WWE side. In the Queen of the Ring tournament, Iyo Sky making her way out first. And here tonight, she will be taking on the Juggernaut, Jordynne Grace. A win here tonight will get one of these women one step closer to becoming Queen of the Ring. And the next step is the semifinals later this week on SmackDown, where they will take on Becky Lynch. And if you can get past the man, then you take on your WCW counterpart at Bash at the Beach and win that one and become Queen of the Ring. You've got a women's championship opportunity at this year's SummerSlam. Jordynne, who defeated Raquel Rodriguez in round 1 to advance to this round. Iyo Sky getting past Lyra Valkyria. So neither of these women with any kind of cakewalk in round 1 to get here to round 2. Jordynne Grace has Iyo up, torture rack bomb. And And Jordynne Grace is victorious. She's moving on to the semifinals later this week on SmackDown against Becky Lynch. Next, it is our main event, and it is also our only King of the Ring match of the night. Out first, Oba Femi, Oba, who defeated and just manhandled Logan Paul in round one to advance here to the quarterfinals. I don't even know if Logan got any offense in that match. The ruler completely ruled that matchup. His opponent, Big Bronson Reed, Bronson, who defeated CM Punk in round one to advance here tonight. Let's look at the updated bracket. Like we said, Gunther already advancing to the semifinals. He will face the winner of this one here right now. Oba Femi, Big Bronson Reed. There's a lot of meat in the ring, and here we go. And we saw in round one, Bronson, Punk, and maybe Oba's kind of taking a page out of Punk's book. Punk took it to Bronson Reed right from the rip. And that's usually what we see out of Bronson Reed. He's usually the aggressor, usually the one who is setting the tone of the match. And Punk, I think, completely threw him off his game. Looked like Punk was on his way to advancing, but he made a slight error, and that opened the door for Reed, who was able to capitalize on that mistake and move on to this match here tonight, where he's kind of getting a little of the same. Oba Femi in control, splash off the second rope. And Oba going up top. He's going all the way up top this time. He wants Big Bronson Reed back to his feet. Drops the elbow down on the top of the head of the modern day natural disaster. Big clothesline from Oba. Both of these guys coming over to WWE in the draft, and I've been very impressed. They've both been very impressive since coming here to the WWE, and Bronson now with the roll-up. But unfortunately for him, there was a rope break. Now we are seeing the first bit of offense from Bronson Reed. He's working on the hands of Oba, and Oba with a release back suplex. Uh-oh. Oh man, Logan Paul's music. Oba now looking towards the stage. No Logan Paul. That's because Logan Paul's behind him with a chair. The referee, he doesn't even see it. Bronson Reed crawling over. I'll tell you what, the vision plan here in the insurance, here on the WWE side, is horrible. Bronson Reed going to move on as the referee counts the three on the chair, completely oblivious. But Bronson Reed's moving on, and here's his opponent later this week on SmackDown, a very fresh Gunther, who had a bye here in round two. These two will meet later this week on SmackDown. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.